on your side. This is WHAS 11 News.
First here tonight at 6, the scene from Sky 11 just moments ago as fire crews are on the scene of a fire in Louisville's Parkland neighborhood. Sky 11 showing you the scene, a lumber yard there on fire at 28th and Garland. Now, again, this is videotape from our helicopter just moments ago when we were over it, and we did spot some heavy flames right when we got to the scene. But I can tell you that firefighters have now knocked down most of that fire, and white smoke is now appearing over the area, as you can see toward the end of our video here. We are told, though, no injuries there at 28th and Garland. And good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Doug Proffitt. Now to our other top stories tonight at 6 o'clock. Louisville Metro Police are investigating 2 tragedies tonight, both involving children. In the Lake Dreamland area, a 2-year-old has died at the hospital after being accidentally shot in the face. The homicide unit is investigating, and our Dennis Ting will join us with details on that tragic story in just a moment. But first here tonight, a student has died after JCPS officials say he left his moving school bus. That happened this afternoon on Westport Road near Linden Lane just before 1 o'clock today. And WHAS 11's Anna Rivera has been on the scene for several hours. And Anna, what more have you learned from investigators as you've been there?
Well, Doug, we're learning more about this student. Sources are confirming that he is 16 years old, and U-Spiritus also confirming that he was a member of their community. Now, as you can see, the scene is clear, and Westport Road has been open to traffic for the last couple of hours. Now, as far as the accident, we're not getting much new information at this point. Now, police say the child did exit the bus while it was moving and died on the scene. JCPS officials tell us there were kids and a number of monitors on the bus at the time of the incident who witnessed the accident. They say the kids were on their way to a state-run facility at the time of the accident. Right now, the bus driver is not facing any charges.
It's a heartbreaking situation, and our thoughts and prayers are with the student and the family. That's the most important thing right now.
And U-Spiritus did send us a statement. It says in part that they are asking for prayers as they try to come to grips with this tragic loss. Now, police tell us that the traffic unit will be investigating. No other students were injured in this accident. We'll continue to bring more information as it becomes available. On Westport Road, Anna Rivera, WHAS 11 News.
Anna, thank you. Now to our other top story tonight at 6. A toddler has died after police say he was shot in the face today. This happened around 1 o'clock this afternoon in the 6500 block of Huff Lane. That's off Lee's Lane near Campground Road. WHAS 11's Dennis Ting is joining us right now. He's live from Metro Police Headquarters downtown, where he's been following today's investigation for new information. Dennis?
Well, Doug, that investigation is still ongoing right now as LMPD's homicide unit continues to try to piece together what exactly happened earlier this afternoon. Police say officers first received the call around 1 o'clock this afternoon about a shooting in the 6500 block of Huff Lane, which is in the Riverside Gardens neighborhood off Lee's Lane and Campground Road. LMPD says officers found a 2-year-old boy who had been shot in the face. The child was taken to Norton's Children's Hospital, where he died.
Someone that young in this type of condition at this stage of their life, it's very tragic. Anytime that happens, even if you don't have children, I think if you have a heart, you would know this is a very difficult investigation to have at this point, and certainly our prayers are with the victim and his family.
Other family members did arrive at the scene after police arrived. Police say there were at least 2 other people in the home at the time when the child was shot, including an adult who police say has been interviewed. And again, police say the investigation is still in its very early stages right now. Anyone with information is asked to contact police through the anonymous tip line 574-LMPD. Live from Louisville, Dennis Ting, WHAS 11 News.
Dennis, thank you. And Sky 11 has moved to another developing story at this moment. Traffic is moving very slowly right now around a head-on collision on I-64 in downtown Louisville area. This is I-64 eastbound. Again, that's eastbound, heading out to the east away from the city between Payne and Grinstead Drive. Police say the vehicle was traveling in the westbound lane and then crossed over into the eastbound lane somehow and then hit the other car. We'll be getting more information on the extent of injuries coming up a little later. New tonight at 6, more students will be heading back to school in southern Indiana school districts this week, and a local prison is taking the opportunity to get some children ready. But some of the parents aren't too happy about the free haircuts being offered by those inmates. WHAS 11's Robert Bradfield is digging deeper for us tonight, talking with the prison employees about a program that's giving women a second chance tonight.
Did you like it like that too?
At first glance, this may seem like an ordinary salon.
Good job.
But the women doing the cutting have a backstory that many don't get a chance to hear. They are inmates at the Madison Correctional Facility.
This is something that is the biggest transition in life that I've ever experienced.
Stacy Hess was arrested for theft of a stolen car in 2011. While serving time, she heard about the prison's beauty school and dove right in.
This is my passion. This is what I want to do.
The program started in 2006. 175 women have graduated, and those who complete the required 1,500 hours are licensed to do hair in Indiana once they are released.
You believe in them, and it touches your heart.
Tara Shuley is a cosmetology instructor and oversees the 25 women who are currently in the program. Right now, they are offering free haircuts to school-aged children and believes parents should not be fearful of inmates cutting hair.
You guys need help with anything?
The prison is a minimum security facility, and many of the women are nearing the end of their sentences.
I have no fear any day working with them.
It's a second chance at life, but for many, it's also their first chance to land a stable job once they leave. Hess, a mother of 3, is not proud of all her choices, but she's proud of the choice she's made to turn her life around.
What I'm going to walk out of here and be is something that I'm going to be able to smile at.
Prison leaders say the recidivism rate is extremely low for the inmates who graduate from the program. Many have gone on to become stylists in the Madison and Indianapolis areas. Now, we posted the hours of their back-to-school free haircut event on WHAS11.com. Robert Bradfield, WHAS 11 News.
Robert, thank you very much. And happening at this hour tonight, it's a 47-year-old tradition in Louisville's Schnitzelburg neighborhood, not far from downtown. The tradition recreated by a 97-year-old World War II veteran who is still overseeing this tonight. The annual dainty contest is underway this evening. The contest was started back in 1971 by George Houck outside his family's grocery store there on Goss Avenue. Now, we dug back into the WHS 11 archives and found this video from 1997 on the last Monday in July. Now, you must be 45 years old or older to play in the dainty contest, but the rules are simple. Use a broom handle to hit the small dainty, small piece of wood as far as possible. Everybody from mayors to congressmen to state and local representatives have shown up over the decades to give it a shot. And our chief meteorologist, Ben Pine, is covering the dainty contest today. And about an hour ago, he talked to George Houck, 97 years old. Great interview there, Ben. And he is he's not far from you. I know he's in the crowd, very proud of his festival.
He's right there, actually, Doug, right behind me. And you were talking about mayors. I found a mayor, actually, Mayor Greg Fisher here. Tell us about this event.
Well, the real mayor here tonight is George Houck.
And Mayor Schnitzelburg, right?
Oh, we love him. And putting on this dainty for all these decades here. I mean, this is one of the great scenes in all of America. We're raising money for the Little Sisters of the Poor and just having a great time as a community.
What a unique event. 47th dainty contest in front of a 105-year-old store. The traditions are pretty amazing.
Thousands of people here gathering for this amazing event. Global media coverage. It's all happening right here.
On a Monday. All right. Are you going to give it a try?
Oh, I've been up already.
Oh, did you?
I made contact. That's the main thing.
Forward progress. That's good.
That's right.
See you later. Thank you very much. There you go, Mayor Fisher out here giving it a go. And the point is, if you can see here, Doug, you were just mentioning it, you got to hit it with the dainty bat. Hope you get a good launch, and then you whack it from there. Oh, so since he made it on the board, he can't go and try again. So you get 3 tries, and you try to hit it as far down as you can. The record is 149 feet. It's a beautiful day out here. They'll be playing until 10 p.m. Lots of food, refreshments. Bologna is the meal of the day out here for $3. I'll have much more coming up from the dainty contest in Schnitzelburg. Back to you.
All right, good to see once again a big crowd out there in Schnitzelburg supporting the dainty contest. Thanks so much, Ben. More coming up tonight at 6.
I think this goes to show that the East and West End can work together.
From Brownsboro Road to the Park Duval neighborhood, 2 Louisville churches are partnering together. And they say you should do it as well. Our Tammy Dozier brings us the collaboration still to come. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul suggests the effort to repeal Obamacare is far from over, and he's hoping President Donald Trump may make one of his solutions a reality. Senator Paul spoke with a group of business leaders in Elizabethtown today. He pushed for association health insurance plans which would allow consumers to join groups to lower the cost of insurance. The senator said he hopes President Trump makes those groups a reality nationwide through an executive order. In the meantime, he's not giving up on the rest of the repeal process.
No, I don't think it's over. I think there's a possibility still for going back and revisiting the bill we voted on last week. That's one. But then there's also a possibility for sort of bipartisan, traditional, through the committees over the next 6 months to do something.
Senator Paul returned to Washington late today, where he said he planned to approach some of the Republicans who opposed their own party's repeal plans, hoping he can find common ground upon which to revisit the entire effort. 2 Kentuckians are suing Governor Matt Bevin after he blocked them on Twitter and Facebook. The ACLU of Kentucky is filing the lawsuit on behalf of the 2 who claim it's a violation of their constitutional rights. They're asking that they, along with roughly 600 others, be unblocked by the governor. A spokesperson for Governor Matt Bevin's office says today that the governor welcomes input from all viewpoints on social media, but not those whose posts, quote, obscene and abusive language or images. Next tonight at 6, an East Louisville church working to bridge that 9th Street divide in our city. We'll take you to the West Louisville church that hosted those members and unveiled a new effort to serve our community. And take a look at the Kentucky Lottery. The jackpot numbers here tonight. Kentucky Mega Millions stands at $303 million, and the Kentucky Powerball jackpot tonight is at $261 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education.
Sky 11 has moved over to another breaking story at this late hour, and a tragedy has developed here with a fire. Sky 11 is over this house in the Pleasure Ridge Park area of our community, southwest Jefferson County. This is Westbrook Road. Now, Westbrook Road runs right off of Greenwood and is not far from the Ohio River in the southwest part of town. We have learned that one person has died in this incident. We have a crew on the way to the scene there to get more information from police. But today we've been over a lumberyard fire since 4 o'clock, an apartment fire in Middletown, the Middletown area, and a house fire in the Portland neighborhood. It's been a bad day today for fires and now a fatality in the southwest part of the county. Also tonight at 6, crossing the 9th Street divide for one East Louisville church is not a task, it's a real joy. Christ Church United Methodist on Brownsboro Road and the New Zion Baptist Church some 20 miles away in the Park Duval neighborhood are unveiling their partnership members, hoping they'll inspire many of you to move from beyond your comfort zone. Our Tabney Dozier has the story.
Togetherness. Togetherness is not just being with those who look like you, but those who love like you do.
You know, I like to think ours is welcoming, but they are unbelievable.
This site, members of Christ Church United Methodist attending West Louisville's New Zion Baptist Church service, is the definition of loving thy neighbor.
That we are really one community, and that, as it has been said over and over again, we have more in common than we realize.
Both sets of members have been working on this transitional home right next door to New Zion. Long hours of sweat and sharing ideas will now benefit families who are forced out by fire, floods, or other short-term circumstances.
It's a partnership that shows, hopefully, the rest of the city that the two sides of town can get together.
You hear it so often that West Louisville was full of crime and poverty. Both churches say it is time for that stigma to disappear.
The problems are problems on every corner, in families in every neighborhood. It just so happens that some of the more visible issues have surfaced in our community.
Giving back knows no bounds.
We have to quit bickering back and forth about social issues or economical issues and work together to help each other.
UMC also donates to the Blue House, which we know well here at WHAS 11. That's where an orchestra veteran teaches music to West Louisville teenagers. From the east to the west, they say they serve the same God, so why not reach out to those living on the other side of the Watterson? Christ Church United Methodist has its hands involved with the West End School as well as other ventures. This transitional house will be officially open soon. Contact information for both churches posted on WHAS11.com. Doug, we love these kind of stories. I'll send it over to you.
All right, and it's action right in front of our eyes, and it's not just a lot of talk. Thank you so much, Tabney. Our Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine is out chasing the dainties in the Schnitzelburg neighborhood tonight. Quite a tradition there, Ben.
It is a tradition, very fun event, and the crowd is getting pretty lively out here at the corner of Goss and Hertz Avenue in the middle of Schnitzelburg. And there's the unofficial mayor of Schnitzelburg as well. That's George Hauk, 97 years old. He started the World Championship Dainty Contest 47 years ago. What is the Dainty Contest? Well, look down here. It is underway. We just had Congressman Yarmouth. Did okay, hit it a little bit there, and the mayor as well. And they are still over there chatting it up, and we get contestant after contestant. It's free to sign up, and you get 3 tries to hit the dainty. It's about a 4-inch little piece of wood. You hit it with the dainty bat. You're about to see this happen, and it's going to be going on until 10 p.m. If you're not 45 years old or older, you'll have to wait. Got to be 45 or older, but you can still come out and enjoy a $3 bologna, pickle, chips meal, tradition out here, and 50 cents for the cotton candies. So we've got another contestant coming up, and we'll watch him as he does it. In the meantime, we'll take a look at the weather. Current conditions out there, 87 degrees. As we look live with our Morgan & Morgan HD camera network, humidity still low. It's been around 30 to 40% humidity throughout the day today with just a light east breeze. Humidity will start to go up a little bit over the next couple of days. Across the viewing area, our temperatures are in the low to mid 80s. Once you head outside the metro area, it's going to be a nice warm evening for whatever you want to do outside. Maybe even come out here to Schnitzelburg and have some have a good time out here with the festivities. Max HD radar and satellite together shows mostly clear conditions with a few puffy fair weather cumulus clouds out there. The regional radar and satellite shows high pressure still in control of our area. That area of high pressure will move east over the next couple of days and allow for a chance of rain to return by the middle and end of our work week. Let's take a look at Futurecast. This evening will be dry, 70s after sunset. We'll wake up quiet tomorrow in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees, and tomorrow afternoon only a very slight chance of a pop-up shower. Most areas will stay dry, and we'll see a better chance, about a 40% chance of a shower or thunderstorm as we head into Wednesday afternoon. Your forecast tonight, low of 70 degrees, quiet across the area, and tomorrow similar temperatures as today, a high of 89 degrees and mostly dry. Our first week of August, it's all 80s on the way. Chances of pop-up showers and storms on Wednesday. Front moves through on Friday with morning rain, and then we clear out for a beautiful weekend with sunshine and low humidity. It's been fun out here at the Dainty Contest here in Schnitzelburg. We will be right back with sports.
Today, the Louisville Cardinals and other college football teams across the country opened up fall practice. That's the first big step towards the 2017 season. Of course, lots of expectations for this Louisville squad this year, and coaches have emphasized to put away last year's disappointing finish by getting back to work. That process began today, and we will hear from coaches and players tonight at 11. But this morning, the Kentucky Wildcats took the field for their first practice after having media day yesterday, and now it's no secret that the Cats started to find their groove last year when that running game took off. UK had the three-headed backfield monster with Boom Williams, JoJo Kemp, and Benny Snell. And even though 2 of those guys have moved on, the strategy has not changed.
You're going to play 3. Just through, 29 days right now, getting ready to start knocking the heck out of each other. And I think that if you have 3 that can produce, and what you got to make sure that from the 1 guy to the 3rd guy, that you're not hurting the team.
Now this morning here in Louisville, over 200 campers got to have some fun with NBA rookies and former Wildcats De'Aaron Fox, Bam Adebayo, and Malik Monk. The players took photos, signed autographs, and shot some hoops, or tried to anyway, with the kiddos. And afterwards, Fox said even though his UK teammates have all gone separate ways, nothing between them has changed.
We all actually still talk to each other. Our whole team, we have a group message with each other on Snapchat. So we're snapping each other all day. So nothing's really changed since we've been off campus.
And down in Bowling Green, the Mitchell Robinson saga continues. Last week, there were reports circulating that Robinson had left campus and intended to transfer. Today, we now know that WKU coach Rick Stansbury has suspended the freshman center indefinitely for an unspecified violation of team rules. And we'll hear from a statement from Stansbury tonight at 11. But, Doug, check this out. A story that'll make sports fans smile. Today, the Chicago Cubs let bygones be bygones and gave a ring to lifetime fan Steve Bartman. Of course, he's the man, the myth, right right there that in that 2003 NLCS knocked that ball away from Moises Alou, or some may argue that. But either way, he received that ring right there from Cubs owners in the Cubs owner box today. How cool is that?
Well, you remember after they won the World Series, he was quiet. He stayed low, really didn't comment about it.
He has been quiet ever since the whole thing happened.
And there had been a discussion about should they have a parade for it or something.
I love that he got that. I mean, this poor guy, and then he gets the coolest gift ever.
It's a great update. Thanks, Whitney, and we'll be back tonight. See you on 11 at 11. Thanks for joining us here at 6.
Are you being fired today, Coach? Are you concerned they're going to let you go today?
I came home last night and said once again to my wife, you can't make this up.
Effective immediately, Coach Pitino has been placed on an unpaid administrative leave. Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics, Tom Jurich, has been placed on a paid administrative leave.
I think it's sad, but I also think it's necessary from the standpoint that maybe the whole program needs to start from scratch again.
And there you have an historic shakeup today at U of L. Two of the best-known names removed from their jobs. Two interim leaders will soon become temporary athletic director and basketball coach of the Cardinals by the end of this week. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Doug Proffitt. Just under an hour ago, Rick Pitino's attorney is promising a fight in a brand new statement. Says in part that U of L, quote, did not give him, talking about the coach, prior notice of the disciplinary action or an opportunity to be heard as required by university policy and Coach Pitino's employment contract. Steve Pence goes on to say Coach Pitino has, in effect, been fired. The matter will now follow its legal course. Tom Jurich, though, releasing a much different statement as well, saying he's dedicated 20 years to the university and, quote, my intent has always been to run every athletic program at the university in an honest and compliant manner. It is heartbreaking to me that the alleged intentional and secret criminal acts can bring such harm to our school. Jurich goes on to say he loves the school and Louisville community, and he plans to help U of L overcome the challenges it faces after that critical Board of Trustees October 18th meeting. That's a meeting where he could be fired, but Jurich there not talking about any legal action in his statement there so far. Well, we do have team coverage beginning tonight of the big announcement by the interim U of L president, Greg Postal, beginning with our Derek Rose live from the campus explaining the decision and how it all happened today. Derek?
Well, Doug, you mentioned that statement from Rick Pitino. We cannot say that we're surprised by this statement. He has vowed before to fight, vowing again now to fight legally over the terms of his contract. Already trying to clean itself from the sex party scandal, the University of Louisville's reputation soiled once again by news of an FBI investigation into a pay-for-play scheme involving university sponsor Adidas, the family of 2017 recruit Brian Bowen, and two U of L men's basketball coaches.
I would say that I was more angry than embarrassed. Obviously, embarrassment is part of it as well.
Board of Trustees chairman and the U of L interim president told a packed room full of reporters and students on Wednesday the university wanted to distance itself from athletic director Tom Jurich and head coach Rick Pitino. But the school stopped short of firing either man. Jurich and Pitino's respective contracts are the legal hurdles.
This is a typical way that universities deal with a situation where there is an ongoing criminal investigation. The criminal investigation is not complete, and individuals at this institution have not been formally charged.
It is true neither Jurich nor Pitino are named or implicated in the FBI investigation, and their contracts give them some time between now and what is likely their last day with U of L. Pitino's contract with the U of L Athletic Association allows him a 10-day written notice and a chance to present evidence before he's fired with cause. Jurich's deal with the university allows a 30-day chance to, quote, cure any violation before he's fired with cause, or 90 days advance notice without cause. Many have called for both men's jobs, and some students told me a clean house would be an example of the leadership they want to see from the school's interim president.
What do you say to those students? Well, I think it should be obvious that that's what we're doing. I mean, we've taken an action sufficient to bring a whole room full of media people together to make a very clear statement that we're not going to tolerate what we have learned about. So my answer to them would be we are doing everything in an appropriate way and will continue to do so as we learn more about the situation.
And again, those terms of the suspensions: a paid administrative leave for athletic director Tom Jurich, no pay for Rick Pitino on his suspension. But we are likely to see, judging from his statement late this afternoon, that his next competition will not be on the hardwood. Rather, it will be in a court of law. Live on University of Louisville's campus, I'm Derek Rose, WHAS 11 News.
Very good. Thank you, Derek. Well, Rick Pitino's career at U of L has been full of highs and lows, as you know. He was hired in 2001, and he took over the struggling Cards basketball team at the time, turning them around to make it to the Final Four in 2005. The team would then make it back there in 2012 and then become the national champions 1 year later. But with those successes, he has also seen scandal. In 2009, the Karen Cipher scandal rocked Pitino and his family, Cipher blackmailing the coach after the two had sex in 2003 inside a local restaurant. And then in 2015, Katina Powell's book, Breaking Cardinal Rules, leads to that NCAA investigation into allegations that women were paid to have sex with recruits on visits to campus at Billy Minardi Hall. Pitino was suspended as part of that investigation, and he is currently appealing that decision. Athletic Director Tom Jurich, who hired Rick Pitino, has worked for U of L since October 21st, 1997. In addition to Pitino, Jurich made some big-name hires, including John L. Smith in '97, Bobby Petrino, not once but twice, in '03 and 2014. He also helped the school move to the Big East in '05 and then to the ACC in 2014. Among some of Jurich's biggest accomplishments are the millions of dollars in new capital improvements that he's overseeing. Those include the new soccer stadium, an expansion of both the softball and baseball stadiums, and that recent expansion again of Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, and of course moving the men's basketball team downtown to the KFC Yum Center in 2010. And we also learned today that Tom Jurich's daughter works for Adidas, the company at the center of the FBI investigation. Her LinkedIn profile lists her as an NCAA brand communications manager at Adidas, and she works that job from the University of Louisville, a role that her profile says she's been in since March of 2017. Both Jurich and Pitino headed to campus this morning, meeting with university leaders. Both meetings lasted just under 10 minutes. WHAS 11's Chris Williams was also there, and he asked the men the questions as they were walking inside to learn their fate. Chris?
Both men arrived here early for separate meetings with interim U of L President Dr. Greg Postel. Both left those meetings without commenting. The exchanges here an indication of the mood this day would take on at this university that has weathered scandal after scandal in recent years.
I came home last night and said once again to my wife, you can't make this up. So it was terrible disappointment. I really felt like we were on the trajectory that was positive and could take the university to the next level. So like Dr. Postel, I'm disappointed. There's a little bit of anger. It's not a happy day for the university.
U of L Board of Trustees Chair J. David Grissom and interim U of L President Dr. Greg Postel laid out the administrative decisions regarding Coach Pitino and Tom Jurich. Both had been on a roller coaster ride over the past few months. It seemed to be headed in the right direction until news broke of the FBI investigation. Dr. Postel tried to push optimism on a day of uncertainty.
While this may be a dark day for the University of Louisville, better days are ahead.
Are you concerned they're going to let you go today?
I have no idea.
The day began with a meeting for Tom Jurich, who entered Grawemeyer Hall and left in less than 10 minutes. His short answers upon arrival, the only exchange we'd have with him. Coach Rick Pitino answered no questions. He only spoke with us when trying to order us out of the public building where Dr. Postel was waiting. We had to point out for him where that meeting was taking place.
It's a public building. No, you can't. Yes, I can. It's a public building, Coach. I can come in here. It's a public building. There's a public meeting.
Do what you like.
Did you know anything about what Adidas was alleged of doing? It's back here, Coach.
Less than 10 minutes later, on his way out of that meeting, I asked the coach whether it was heartbreaking for him to potentially end his career here at U of L this way, considering all that he'd accomplished here. He didn't answer. Instead, he got into a car and drove away. Live at the University of Louisville, Chris Williams, WHAS 11 News.
Chris, thank you. Reaction to the news coming beyond campus from fans to the former players. While some are disappointed by the decision to place Pitino and Jurich on leave, others say it may be a good thing.
There is no more excuses to be made. We have hit rock stone bottom. So we're going to have to start to integrity first, treating student athletes correctly second, and then, and only then, do you start to worry about individuals. The university put the individuals in front of the school and the athletes. And that cannot ever happen again. It cannot happen again.
I guess we're tired of it a little bit. There's a pattern here, so I think it's time to start fresh.
Former player Kevin Ware posting this tweet just this afternoon, can't keep a good one down. Rick will be good regardless. And in an Instagram post, Kyle Couric wrote, "It's hard to accept what has happened to our program today. Coach P taught me so much about the game, myself, and life. He is still my coach and always will be. I will always have his back no matter what." And we contacted John Schneider, by the way, of Papa John's. A spokesperson tells us he stands by a statement that he made at a recent board meeting in April and, quote, "You've got to fix athletics first, and then the university will get in line." So the next move, who steps in as the interim coach and the athletic director? Two big jobs. Postal said today they'll have a decision in the next 48 hours by the time we end this week. And our sports director, Ken Spencer, is talking here about some of the top contenders who could fill these giant jobs.
Well, when you think about who needs to be the next coach at Louisville, they have to be on the job quick because official start of practice starts on October 1st. That's Sunday, and they don't pause the season to get a coach in place. They got to get going. Now, when it comes to some of the coaches that you may have heard about, whether that's on social media, just out and about, let's take a look at some of those guys. Obviously, a hot name right now has been Bellarmine's Scotty Davenport. Had a chance to speak to Scotty Davenport today. He said he is recruiting on behalf of Bellarmine up in Columbus, Ohio this afternoon. Now, Davenport spent time on both the staffs of Denny Crum, Rick Pitino. Scotty is born and bred from Louisville and the University of Louisville. Then you got to look at Kenny Payne, who was a member of the Cards' 1986 National Championship team. Payne is currently on John Calipari's staff at Kentucky. Payne is also one of, if not the highest paid assistant coaches in the country. And then the next one, Thad Matta, former Ohio State coach who was just let go after this past season for the Buckeyes. Matta had a lot of success at Ohio State, including several Final Fours leading the Buckeyes. And then we have Tom Crean, and a lot of national writers in the past several hours have really been promoting Tom Crean to Louisville. It'll be interesting to see what kind of happens there. Of course, Indiana parted ways with Tom Crean after this past season, because they said they wanted somebody who could lead them to national championships. Tom Crean has expressed interest into getting back in coaching at some point, but it would have to be for the right position.
You cover John Calipari a lot. What would he tell Kenny Payne if he got that call?
I think if he got the call and if it was the right circumstances and it was the right offer on the table, I think John Calipari would give Kenny Payne his blessing.
Interesting twist in that rivalry.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Kent. And our coverage of the latest U of L basketball scandal is continuing next at 6 with concerns surrounding the future of the program. What does it mean for the KFC Yum Center downtown? Our Tabney Dozier today has been asking that question to get some answers when we come right back. And at the end of this newscast, my Profit Report commentary. The end of one of the most stunning days in U of L's history, and in reality, there have been many of them with scandals and investigations in just a few minutes. Our coverage tonight here at 6 on the University of Louisville men's basketball FBI investigation is continuing. Many are wondering, what do the shakeups mean for the future of the KFC Yum Center? How could it impact ticket sales? The school, as you know, is the arena's main tenant. WHAS 11's Tabney Dozier is joining us live right now downtown with reaction. She's been looking into that complicated story today. Tabney?
Well, Doug, here's where the debt stands as of today. Per the Arena Authority, it tells me it will take approximately $350 million in bonds to market this year, prioritized over the next 30 years. This arena falls in Metro Councilwoman Barbara Sexton Smith's district. She tells me regardless of these new investigations, it is up to all of us to keep the seats in the Yum Center full.
So am I concerned about what's going to happen with our men's basketball team? Of course I am.
It's safe to say District 4 Metro Councilwoman Barbara Sexton Smith is not alone. The Cards men's basketball team now involved in a federal investigation of alleged bribery and fraud involving a player, some coaches, and its sponsor, Adidas.
I believe these businesses will find a way to keep their doors open, and I know that the community in the region can come out and support those businesses, whether there's something going on at the KFC Yum Center or not. That is where the real opportunity is going to come.
It has been our goal for a long time to refund these municipal bonds and try to get them to market this year. And nothing that has happened yesterday or today has changed our goals.
Arena Authority Chairman Scott Cox says his team is concerned about the newest allegations. He adds that paying the bonds used to finance the Yum's construction is a shared agreement with the city and U of L. The city agreed to pay more money every year while bonds are in existence, and U of L also agreed to pay more money to service the debt by ticket sales and other revenue.
I think we're going to be okay. I think there's an enormous appetite for college basketball in this community. I think the support for the University of Louisville athletic programs, all the programs, women's basketball, men's basketball, football, all of them are wide and deep.
Cox says it's too early to truly see what impact this investigation will have on the arena, but it's a concern and yet another black eye on one of the state's top universities. I asked for Mayor Greg Fisher's thoughts on the investigation affecting the Yum Center. He said it's too early to speculate, but he did tell me he believes in U of L and, quote, we all need to support its students, faculty, and staff who work hard every day. I have confidence that the Board of Trustees will take the necessary actions to lead the city's flagship university to a bright future. Tomorrow, Scott Cox tells me the meeting in Frankfurt to oversee the bond issues for the arena will continue as planned. Reporting live downtown at the KMC Yum Center, I'm Tabby Dozier, WHAS 11 News.
Very good. Thank you, Tabney. At 11, we're going to be looking at the legal challenges over today's move. They're already setting up. Also, it's the talk of the town. More reaction. We'll continue to follow it on 11 at 11. And you can also keep us up to date with the latest updates online at WHAS11.com and through our mobile app. It's been quite a busy day. Haven't had a chance really to pay attention to the weather, but believe it or not, folks, we've got a cold front going to go through the area tonight. Right. What are you talking about in the 50s?
Much calmer conditions in the weather department, but notice the cooler conditions just out to the west. So we're at 86, hit 92 degrees earlier today, tied a record high, but that cool air starting to march in, get closer. Chicago 70, 71 in St. Louis, and some upper 60s here in Kansas City. And we'll see those temperatures drop down to the 50s tonight, maybe even seeing some 40s by early on Friday. Not only cooler, but some autumn-like dry air on the way. Still a bit humid out there now. Dew point numbers that measure water content in the air still in the 60s, but notice that very dry air just off to the northwest. So all this is going to mean a lot more comfortable weather for this weekend and for the rest of our work week as well. We've had just a couple of very isolated showers. We mentioned all week that this front would be moisture starved, so most of the area is dry. We have one little stray shower here approaching the J-Town area and near Fern Creek, basically between I-64 and Bardstown Road, and then between Fairdale, Valley Station, one tiny shower there over Jefferson Memorial Forest, and just west of Munfordville, another little downpour. That is about it, though. As we switch into Futurecast, look at these temperatures here after sunset and through the overnight, just dropping. 50s first thing tomorrow morning. May want that light sweatshirt, light jacket. Into the afternoon, those temps in the 70s with a lot of sunshine. That autumn-like air will continue for, again, the rest of the work week and into the weekend. Friday morning, a little bit chilly here with upper 40s, lower 50s, and it looks like it's going to be fantastic for our HS Game Time Friday night football here with those temperatures in the 70s, and again, a lot more sunshine on the way. A mix of clouds and sunshine now as we look over the bridges and up the Ohio River with our view from Review Restaurant Lounge on top of the Galt House with our Morgan & Morgan HD camera network. Right at 86 degrees at the airports. Again, still just a touch muggy out there, but very soon we'll have that more comfortable weather on the way thanks to that wind direction shift, that air now coming in from the northwest. Still all in the 80s though right now. There's that record high of 92 today, tied the old record of 92 set back in 1998, and about 15 degrees above normal for today. Air quality monitoring stations at a moderate level did just for a brief time get up into that unhealthy zone. Cleaner air on the way though behind that front. We do have moderate levels of that pollen here, the ragweed season, and 59 degrees, mostly clear for tonight. And for tomorrow, enjoy that high of 76 degrees. This is phenomenal weather to get outside. Take a look at all the sunshine. No rain chances here. 70s through the weekend for highs, lows in the 50s. A little bit warmer as we start October and head into next week as some 80s return. Keep it here. Sports is up next.
Certainly the fallout has already began surrounding the Louisville basketball team. Today, the Cards lost their entire 2018 recruiting class. The first one to go was Anthony Simmons, who was the 12th overall ranked player in the class, according to Scout.com, and as a combo guard was quickly rising up boards. The second was Courtney Ramey, who was ranked as the 37th overall player in the 2018 class and was a point guard. Now, whoever the interim coach will be will have to hit the ground running both on the court with his current team and the recruiting trail. Meanwhile, in Lexington, it was also a crazy scene surrounding the Kentucky basketball program. The Big Blue Madness campout got underway this morning, and as always, it was a mad dash to find the perfect spot. The annual event, Big Blue Madness, which has become more of a show than an open practice, takes place Friday, October 13th. Tickets, which are free, will be handed out this Friday. And make sure you log on to WHAS11.com to vote for our HS Game Time Game of the Week for October 6th. Some great games on the list, including an intense rivalry, DeSales at Christian Academy. To vote, log on to WHAS11.com. And remember, voting ends Friday at 6 p.m. Tonight, Louisville City FC is on the road where they'll face Toronto FC 2. These two teams played just once before this season, back on April 29th at Louisville Slugger Field, and that game ended with a scoreless draw. The match begins at 7:30. We're going to have highlights of that game at 11 o'clock. And, Doug, it's kind of hard to imagine when we woke up yesterday morning that, nearly a little bit more than 24 hours later, the Louisville athletics program would currently sit without an athletics director and without a head men's basketball coach.
You're right, Kent, and picking up on that, we've come to an end of probably the most stunning, tumultuous time in U of L's history. The ouster of the school's best-known faces, better known than the school president, Rick Pitino and Tom Jurich. In my opinion, it's way overdue, stretching back to the troubled leadership of Jim Ramsey, who set the tone. Embezzlement by top professors, theft from the ticket office, the chemistry department, 2 sex scandals, one for the coach, one for the basketball team. Along the way, Ramsey hushed things. Jurich gave second chances. But as we learned this week, the real sewer that runs under U of L is not managed by MSD, but allegedly by Adidas. The influence of these companies is bigger than the Cardinals for sure, but U of L got snared in the FBI trap. Many of you, U of L's veteran educators, screamed hey and called for sweeping changes years ago. You were nearly ridden out of town. This day is rough, no question, but this day is also for you. You have been heard. By the way, you can let me know what you think. I always appreciate your opinion on Twitter at WHAS11Doug, or send me an email directly, dprofit, 2Fs2Ts at WHAS11.com. Tonight at 11, more coverage on what's next for the U of L basketball program, more reaction. Thanks for joining us at 6. See you at 11.